we are live here at Historic Colburn Park on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv, as the Newark Pilots at 6-16, sixth place in the PGCBL Western Division will host the 15-10 third place Elmira Pioneers. So far, 3-0 for the Pioneers against the Pilots this summer. Last time that these two teams faced each other was back on June the 17th, where it was a 12-0 shutout in Elmira for the Pioneers. Getting the start was Devin Murray. That was his second win of the summer. He went 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. So the Pioneers thus far have had the Pilots' number here this summer. So we'll have to see if the Pilots can notch their first win against this team. And it's been an unfortunate week for baseball here at Colburn Park. The weather just has not been cooperating for the Pilots. Several instances where just poor field conditions, back-to-back rainouts, just hasn't gone the Pilots' way. And just when you thought the Pilots were going to get hot, they had won 3 straight, all against the Geneva Red Wings. Jack Gannon threw a no-hitter. A lot of bright spots looking for this team. Then they come off and they lose to the Niagara Power. And one of the most unfortunate ways possible, 12-0 in that last game against Elmira back on the 8th, so 3 days ago. And this game was supposed to be a doubleheader, but scheduling conflicts with umpires in the league pushed it to a single game. So leading off for the Pioneers is Wes Ginrich, the center fielder, batting 195 coming into this game. He'll step in wearing number 4. So Ginrich steps in to face Chris Lowe. First pitch taken for a strike. Count is at 0-1 to Ginrich. As Ginrich will step back in quickly. CeeLo coming set, and the pitch. 0-1, bounce in the dirt. Good stop from Nick Payne. Counts at 1-1 now. Glad to be back here in the broadcast booth at Historic Colburn Park. Always a pleasure, and thank you to everyone for always listening. That one's hit right to the shortstop. Thrown over to first, Michael Flaherty, and a good scoop. No scoop. That one just gets underneath the glove of the first baseman, Jack Polowitz. As that is going to be an E6 for Michael Flaherty. Unfortunate break for the Pilots to lead off the game, but an E6 to lead things off. Error from Michael Flaherty, the shortstop. As that one, I'll bring up Joe Muzio. The first pitch misses low. Counts at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes to Muzio, who's batting 289 coming into this game against the Newark Pilots. Ginrich over on first. Gets a little bit of a lead. He'll be held by Polowitz. The 1-0. Swung on, and that one fouled off. The count is at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and no outs. Chris Lowe on the mound coming into this game for the Pilots. It's been a while since we've seen Chris Lowe pitch. Quite a while, in fact. Chris Lowe so far has 29.1 innings of work, has a 6.13 ERA. 5 games and 5 starts for the Pilots thus far. That one swung on and hit right to Polowitz. Will throw to the shortstop Flaherty and back to first, and they're going to say that Muzio's safe. So score that one a 3-6 fielder's choice. So score that one a 3-6 fielder's choice, and now on first base is Muzio. So that will now bring up John Schroeder, the right fielder, batting 275. Another lefty for the Pioneers in this lineup. Double play ball. Pilots are playing. As Schroeder steps back in, that one misses. Counts at 1-0 to him. As he'll step back in, the pitch. That one misses outside, so back-to-back balls to John Schroeder. He's out in right field tonight for this Elmira Pioneers bunch. Schroeder, with that 275 batting average, is third on this Pioneers team in batting average. That one swung on and fouled off. Little dribbler down the third base line. Counts now moved to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, we're here in the first inning. 0-0 your score. In the top of the first inning, Elmira, the Pioneers facing the Pilots for the 4th time this summer. Runner goes. The throw down from Nick Payne. That one's going to miss way airmailed out there. It'll be a stolen base, and the runner is going to advance to third in Muzio. So it'll be a stolen base for Muzio to second, and then advance to third on an E2. So 1 stolen base for Muzio and an advance to third on the E6. That one misses outside. So ball 4 for Schroeder. He'll head to first. Now that will now bring up Aiden Blake. So that will now bring up Aiden Blake, the designated hitter, batting .272 for the Pioneers. He has runners on the corners with 1 out. Imagine they will probably send Schroeder here and see if they can get a throw down from Payne. We'll have to see how the Pioneers play it. The pitch, taken at the knees, count is at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Schroeder on first with a little bit of a lead. He's going to be heading towards second. The throw down, as that one was on the money to the second baseman, Harris McReynolds, but was cutting it off in front of the bag to maybe attempt home. Another stolen base for the Pilots, and that one for Schroeder. He'll slide into second. The pitch swung on and missed. Big cut there from Aiden Blake. The count is at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Chris Lowe needs an out in the worst way here. Pilots in danger of falling behind these Pioneers once again this summer. Chris Lowe comes set. The pitch swung, and that one hit right at third base, and they're going to cut off and throw home. And that one's get thrown away by Tim Wagner. In E5, no outs, and a run scores. The Pilots' 3rd error of the game already. So it's a 1-0 lead now for the Pioneers. And such an unfortunate break for the Pilots yet again. As that will now bring up Ray Hernandez, the third baseman, number 47. The pitch misses low. The count is at 1-0 now. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out to Ray Hernandez. Pioneers take a 1-0 lead over the Pilots. The pitch, that one misses outside. 2 straight balls from Chris Lowe. The count is at 2-0. 3 errors for the Pilots in what should have been likely a 1-2-3 inning. The pitch, that one swung on and popped up. This one right side of the infield. Harris McReynolds calling everyone off. Makes the play. So McReynolds makes the play, a P4. And there are 2 away finally. Yeah, as that will now bring up Chris Bear, batting .222 on the summer. He's the extra hitter for the Pioneers here tonight. So, as a team, the Pioneers batting .222 on the summer. First pitch taken at the knees. Count is at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Chris Lowe coming set. The 0-1, a throw over will have Aiden Blake diving back in headfirst safely. Counts at 0-1 still. That one taken for a strike. Runner goes, a throw down. back to third. And they're going to say the runner's in safely. But that one's a strike, so 0-2 now. Heads up play from Nick Payne. Almost caught the runner at third base out. That one swung on and fouled off. Count is at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Chris Lowe dealing. That one swung on and fouled off right field side. That one will get into the Pilots bullpen. We'll do the 0-2 yet again. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 your score here at Colburn Park. We're in the top of the first inning. Elmira Pioneers striking first. The 0-2 pitch from Chris Lowe. Swung, and that one a little dribbler down the third base line. Tough play, and that will be a single. So that's now 2-0 in favor of the Pioneers. That one a little dribbler down the third base line. Will score 1 for the Pioneers. That one almost catching that grass lip that has caused the Pilots problems this summer. First pitch misses 4 ball. Counts at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, and 2 outs. Chris Lowe stepping back on the mound. Runners on the corners looking to get out of the jam here. 2-0 to pitch. Fastball taken for a strike. Counts at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. CeeLo looking to weather the storm. That one swung on and missed. Runner goes. Count is at 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jake Kelleher steps back in, swung on and missed. That one's actually fouled off the catcher, Payne. Looked like Payne had held on as the ball squirted out behind him. So 1-2 the count still. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pilots 1 out away, getting out of this first inning jam, down 2-0. That one swung and hit right at Wagner, and once again, can't field it. So an E5 yet again for Tim Wagner. And the Pioneers have scored 3 runs this half inning already to lead off the game on 4 errors. 1 hit, 4 errors. Pilots showing a little ring rust to lead off this game. As that will now bring up John Presto, the shortstop, batting 153. We'll see if Chris Lowe can get out of the inning. One hit and 4 errors. That one swung and hit right to Wagner for a chance at redemption. We'll throw on to first, and that one is out and away, and Paulowich is down and holding his arm. Jack Paulowich down, holding his arm. As the athletic trainer is going to come out and check with Paulowich. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. 5 runs already scored for the Pioneers on 5 errors. 5 errors, only 1 hit. Jack Paulowitz will stay in the game, thankfully, as an errant thrown from Tim Wagner, who has 3 errors himself this inning. Pilots certainly showing some ring rust, as all these rainouts have been brutal. We'll see if the Pilots, there's a long game, we'll see if they can come back. That one swung on and hit right to Harris McReynolds to score that one, and L4 to end the inning. Heading to the bottom of the first, 5-0 lead for the Pioneers. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. I'm Kyle French. It's Frankie Van Zalata stepping up to lead off for the Pilots from SUNY Brockport. The left-handed hitter, first pitch to him, misses high. The fastball counts at 1-0. Getting the start is Griffin Yastrzemski for the Elmira Pioneers. Griffin Yastrzemski from Bath, New York. Plays his college ball at Keystone College. Second pitch misses for a ball, counts at 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes. So far on the summer for Yastrzemski, in 15.1 innings of work, he has a 4.1 ERA. 3 starts for him on the summer as well. So he'll step in. Oh, 2 record on the year. That one taken for a strike after 3 straight balls to lead off the game for Yastrzemski. Counts at 3-1 to Van Zalata, who's batting .261 coming into this game for the Pilots. The pitch. That one is called a strike on a pitch that looked like it missed inside. So Vanzalata was heading to first base on a pitch that looked like it was inside. Umpires wasting no time here tonight. That one swung on and missed. So it's a strikeout now for Vanzalata to lead off the game. And there's one away. As that will now bring up Michael Flaherty. So Michael Flaherty will step up now, and we'll see if he will fare any different. Flaherty will step up for the Pilots from Grinnell College by way of London, England. And awaiting on deck is his international partner, Tatsunori Ngeshi. First pitch misses outside. Count is at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. To Michael Flaherty, batting .294 coming into this game. Pilots as a team bat .242. As that one misses as well. Counts at 2-0. And again, 13 of those 16 losses coming by 3 runs or less. The 2-0. That one swung on a hit out into right field, right at the right fielder. Scored that one in F9. And there's 2 away. As that will now bring up Tatsunori Ngeshi for the Pilots with 2 away quickly. As Tatsunori will step in. Call him Tatsu, Tats. From Tokyo, Japan, plays his college ball at Middle Tennessee State University and is a member of the Blue Raiders baseball program. He's a switch hitter, can bat lefty, righty, and he's also a switch pitcher. He can throw it left-handed and right-handed. Not too often you see guys talented like that, but Tatsu, a slim exception. As the first 2 pitches miss for balls, counts at 2-0 to Tatsunori Ngeshi. So step in. Fan favorite here at Colburn Park, to say the least, as the 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike. Good take from Tatsu. Counts at 2-1. 2 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Pilots looking to improve to 7-16 off to a rocky start here. That one swung on and hit out into right field. That one will drop for a base hit. The Pilots' first base hit of the game. And that will now bring up Mitchell Kelly. So Mitchell Kelly will step in from Webster, New York, plays his college ball at SUNY Cortland. So Mitchell Kelly steps in, batting .302 for the Pilots. That'll put him tied for third with Justin DiMartino at .302 on the team in batting average. Pilots with 4 guys batting over .300 on the summer. Tatsu on first. The pitch from Yastrzemski, changeup, catches the outer half of the plate. Count is at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. 4-0 lead for the Elmira Pioneers. Yastrzemski comes set. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. So falling behind the count 0-2. That one clearly out of the zone from Kelly. Breaking ball out of the zone. Had Kelly swinging out of his shoes. Count is at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Tatsu on first. A little bit of a breeze, overcast here at Colburn Park. Humid day as the pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3, the 3rd out of the inning. So Tatsu gets a 2-out single, but he'll be stranded. Heading to the top of the second, 4-0 lead for the Pioneers. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. It's Spencer Aubin leading things off, the left fielder, batting 185 to face Chris Lowe. And very, very rocky start for the Pilots in the first inning. 4 runs for the Pioneers on 5 errors and only 1 hit. Likely what should have been a 1-2-3 inning turned into a 4-run inning for the Pioneers. None of those runs earned on the ERA of Chris Lowe. So, no balls, 1 strike, and no outs. That one misses. Counts at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. To the leadoff batter in the top of the second, it's Spencer Aubin. And again, you're listening on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. That one swung on and popped up right side in foul territory. Paulowich trailing over. That one just gets out of play as that one smacks off the concrete in the patio deck over there, the picnic area here at Colburn Park. So the count's at 1-2 now to Spencer Aubin, the leadoff batter for the Pioneers in the top of the second inning. 4-0 your score. As number 42, Spencer Aubin will step back in for the Elmira Pioneers. So Aubin will step back in to face Chris Lowe. The 1-2 misses Lowe as Nick Payne stops that one in the dirt. No one on base, so didn't really matter either way, but still a good stop. Give credit where credit is due to Nick Payne. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and no outs as Aubin's from Dover, New Hampshire, plays his college ball at Division I UMass Lowell in the American East. That one just misses outside. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Lowe from Emerson College in downtown Boston, Massachusetts, by way of Chattanooga, New Jersey. 3-2, taken right over the heart of the plate for strike 3. As there's 1 away now. As that will now bring up Wes Genrich, the center fielder. Reached on an E6, the first error of the game. The pitch from Lowe. Swung on that one, hit right at McReynolds, who fields it and flips over to Paulowich. 4-3 ground out for Gingrich, and there's quickly 2 away. And that will now bring up Joe Muzio, who reached on a fielder's choice and scored back in the first inning. So Pilots settling in nicely here in the top of the second inning. Quickly 2 away for Chris Lowe, who's trying to settle into this game. And again, not really Lowe's fault at all. As that one swung on a miss, counts at 0-1 now. Lowe coming set and delivering the pitch. That one swung and hit down the first baseline foul, so counts now at 0-2. And Chris Lowe cruising through this inning thus far for the Pilots. 4-0 your score. And the pitch swung, and that one hit right back up the middle, so a 2-out single for Joe Muzio. And so John Schroeder will step up now. Walked and scored in the first inning. Schroeder batting .275 coming into this game. Chris Lowe comes set the pitch. Fastball just misses outside, counts at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, and 2 outs. That one taken for a strike, counts at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Joe Muzio, who walked in his first plate appearance. The pitch swung on and missed. Count is now at 1-2. And Chris Lowe is a strike away from getting out of this inning for the Pilots. Chris Lowe comes set, The 1-2 delivery. Runner goes. That one misses outside the throw down for Payne in time. So Muzio caught stealing 2-6 for the final out of the inning. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. 4-0 your score. We'll be right back. So we're back on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Chris Lowe bouncing back that inning, and honestly, not really bouncing back at all. Pilots defense failing them early thus far. 5 errors in that first inning for the Pilots, and what should be a 0-0 game is a 4-0 game in favor of the Elmira Pioneers. The first pitch from Yastrzemski to Jack Arkham. That one smoked down to right field and right on the warning track and making the catch. That one's going to be an F9 for Arkham, as that will now bring up number 19, Tim Wagner. As Wagner steps in. Again, we're in the bottom of the second inning here at Colburn Park. 4-0 lead for the Pioneers. Across the board, 4 runs on 2 hits, no errors for the Pioneers, as that one misses for a ball. Counts at 1-0. And for the Pilots, no runs, 1 hit, and 5 errors through 2 innings for the Pilots thus far in the bottom of the second. Yastrzemski comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Swung, and that one dribbled right towards the first baseman and flipped to the pitcher. Scored that one a 3-1 ground out, as Muzio flipped that one to Yastrzemski, and they're quickly 2 away. As that will now bring up Harris McReynolds for the Newark Pilots, as he'll step in. McReynolds batting .294 coming into this game for the Pilots, tied with Michael Flaherty for 5th on the team in batting average. So 2 quick outs for Yastrzemski, looking for a 1-2-3 inning. The first pitch to McReynolds taken for a strike. Changeup looked like. Counts at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. The pitch, that one misses high and away. Counts at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 quick outs for Yastrzemski. Awaiting on deck for the Pilots is Nick Payne, the catcher tonight. The pitch, that one misses just upstairs. Counts at 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Harris McReynolds. The 2-1. Swung, and that one fouled off. The count is now 2-2. 2's across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. The 2-2 delivery from the righty Yastrzemski. Curveball fouled off. McReynolds was ready to turn towards first. Did get a pretty good piece of that ball. Just hit it foul. So we'll do the 2-2 again. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Harris McReynolds. That one swung on and missed. Strike three. A 1-2-3 inning for the Pilots. We'll head to the top of the third. 4-0 lead for the Pioneers. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. So we're back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. Pioneers up to bat, 4-0 your score as the Elmira Pioneers lead the Newark Pilots. Got off to a quick first inning, four runs in the first inning. As it'll be John Schroeder who's back up at the dish for that one. Swung on and missed. Big cut there from Schroeder to lead off the top of the third. So far, none of those runs earned from Chris Lowe. After all those errors that brought in those runners, the 0-1, that one misses low as well. The count is at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and no outs. As Chris Lowe will come set. The 1-1 delivery to Schroeder. Swung and fouled off the catcher, Nick Payne. Counts at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and no outs. Again, we're in the top of the third inning. 4-0 your score so far for Elmira. 4 runs on 2 hits, no errors. And for Newark, no runs on 1 hit, 5 errors. Those 5 errors coming across the first 2 innings. The 1-2 from Chris Lowe, blown right by him. Strike 3 to Schroeder for the first out, as that will now bring up Aiden Blake, tonight's designated hitter for the Pioneers. Reached on an E5. One of those 3 errors for Wagner and came around to score in the first inning. So Aiden Blake steps in, batting .272, again 0 for 1 on the night. So Blake steps in to face Chris Lowe. Chris Lowe dealing the pitch, taken for a strike, counts at 1-0, and certainly settling in thus far here. Not that he wasn't doing great in the first inning. The 0-1. Swung on and missed, getting the batter to chase, counts at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, and an out. So far for Lowe, 34-17 strike to ball ratio. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 for the second out. As that will now bring up tonight's third baseman, Ray Hernandez, batting .220, and back-to-back strikeouts for the Pioneers. Hernandez batting out of the left side of the batter's box. The pitch, curveball taken for a strike. Count is at 0-1. The 0-1, that one fouled off, counts at 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, the count. The pitch, that one just misses low. Chris Lowe and everyone else walking off the field, counts at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Swung on that one, hit out into left field. Underneath it is Paulie Goodness making the play for the third out. We'll head to the bottom of the third. 4-0 lead for the Elmira Pioneers. So we're back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. It'll be Nick Payne leading things off for the Pilots in the bottom of the third, and it's Yastrzemski out for another inning of work for the Elmira Pioneers. Set the Pilots down 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the second. Chris Lowe retaliated and went 1-2-3 in the top half of the third. That pitch misses outside, counts at 1-0. Nick Payne, this will be his first at bat of the night, batting 153 coming into this game. From Centenary University in New Jersey, as Nick Payne steps in. That one misses outside. 2 straight balls to him, counts at 2-0. So 2 balls, no strikes, and waiting on deck is Jack Polowitz, the St. Bonaventure Bonnie. The 2-0 pitch from Yastrzemski. That one, big cut, and that one's fouled off the catcher behind the dish. That's Jack Kelleher. Counts at 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and no outs. So far for the Pilots, no runs on 1 hit and 5 errors. And without those 5 errors, this one's a 0-0 ball game. The 2-1 pitch from Yastrzemski. That one swung on and popped foul. Counts now 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And to the leadoff batter, Nick Payne in this inning. Again, Polowitz waiting on deck. The 2-2 delivery from Yastrzemski. That one swung on and missed. Strike 3 to lead off the top of the third inning. That's Yastrzemski's 4th strikeout of the night. And there's one away. That'll now bring up Jack Polowitz for this Pilots team. Polowitz from St. Bonaventure, Mars, PA. He steps in. Did have that RBI single against the Geneva Red Wings in the 1-0 Jack Gannon no-hitter game that scored Gage Boltman. That one misses high. Count is at 1-0. Polowitz batting 100 thus far in the summer for the Pilots. That one swung on and missed. Counts at 1-1 to Polowitz. So Polowitz 2 for 20 on the summer thus far, with an RBI to his credit. That one just misses inside. The count's at 2-1 now. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. As Jack Polowitz will step in. The 2-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. And the count's now even up at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Waiting on deck is Paulie Goodness from Elmira, New York. Way of Finger Lakes Community College. The 2-2. That one comes inside and hits Paulowich, who has already been run into tonight. He'll head to first. That will now bring up Paulie Goodness for the Pilots. From Palmyra, New York. So, catcher talking with the umpire. Not sure if that one actually did hit. Paulowich is the catcher protesting. But nonetheless, he'll head to first. So, Paulie Goodness will step up for the Pilots. Goodness batting .095 thus far on the summer. 2 for 21 as he'll step in. Yastrzemski comes set. The first pitch. Taken on the outer half of the plate. Count is at 0-1. Frankie Vanzalata in the top of the order awaits on deck. No balls, one strike. The 0-1. Swung, and that one hit out a little blooper into right field, right at the right fielder who makes the play. So 2 away, and that'll bring up Frankie Vanzalata. So Frankie Vanzalata from SUNY Brockport in Dutchess County, New York will step up to the dish for the Pilots with 2 away. Jack Paulowich sets on first. Pilots looking to crawl back into this one. They trail 4-0 the Elmira Pioneers in the bottom of the third inning. That one taken for a strike. Count is at 0-1. Vanzalata struck out swinging in his first at-bat. As that pitch missed way outside. Count is at 1-1. And that one will be scored a wild pitch by the pitcher, Griffin Yastrzemski. So Paulowich advances to second, and just like that, the Pilots with an opportunity here to put a run on the board. If Vanzalata can find a gap here to score Paulowich, a little bit of speed for the catcher / first baseman. That curveball drops in. The count is at 1-2 now to Vanzalata, and waiting on deck is Michael Flaherty. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. As Vanzalata will step back in. Yastrzemski comes set. The 1-2 delivery. Swung, and that one hit right into the gap between first and second. First and second. They're going to hold the runner at third, and then a throw-in will get to the backstop, and Vanzalata advances. So an E9 for the Pioneers. That'll bring up Tatsunori Ngeshi. So runners on, Michael Flaherty. So Michael Flaherty advances. It was an errant throw home from the right fielder. So a single for Vanzalata and an advance to second on the E9 on the errant throw from the right fielder, John Schroeder. The Pilots have runners on second and third, and that was going to get to the backstop, and that's going to score a run. So a wild pitch for Yastrzemski, and the score is now 1-4. Vanzalata advances on the wild pitch to third, and the score is now 1-4. So Pilots doing exactly what the doctor ordered. Get back into this game. A 2-out single from Frankie Vanzalata propelled this one forward. So Michael Flaherty steps in now. The 1-0 pitch to him. Fastball clips the outer half of the plate. Counts at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. As Michael Flaherty will step back in. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. Curveball misses outside. Counts at 2-1. And the dangerous hitting Tatsunori Ngeshi awaits on deck. Perfect chance for the Pilots here to tack on an extra run. Vanzalata sits 90 feet away on third. 1-4 your score. As a little bit of a step off there from Yastrzemski will have Vanzalata retreat back to the bag, close to the bag at least. Yastrzemski comes set. 2 balls, 1 strike. Vanzalata fakes a run, and that one misses inside, getting in Yastrzemski's head. The count's at 3-1 now. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, and right in the heart of the Pilots' order. Couldn't ask for a better place to start tallying on some base runners. The 3-1. That one taken at the knees to Flaherty. Curveball, counts now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and that one's a very close call at the knees. Yastrzemski already set in there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. He'll come set. The 3-2. That one misses outside. So a 2-out walk for Michael Flaherty. He'll head to first, and that'll bring up Tatsunori Ngeshi. So, Tatsunori Ngeshi, the fan favorite here at Colburn Park, with a chance. He's the tying run at the plate. But a well-placed ball would easily score Vanzalata with the speed at first. And Flaherty, no slouch at first. Vanzalata at third. First pitch taken for a strike. Count is at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. And Ngeshi singled and was left on base back in the first inning for the Pilots. He was the first hit of the ball game, one of 2 hits thus far. We'll look to do it again here. The 0-1. Swung on that one, hit out into left center field. That one's going to hang up just long enough for Spencer Alban to make the play. But the Pilots tack on 1 more run. Heading to the top of the 4th, 4-1 your score. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, already a pitch, and that one was fouled off. The batter at the plate, Chris Bear, the extra hitter for the Pioneers. 1 for 1 on the night with a single and came around to score. That one misses. Count is at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and no outs to Chris Lowe. Bear batting .222 coming into this game. That one swung and hit right back, and that one's going to hit off Lowe's glove. He'll spin and throw that one in time. A 1-3 ground out for Chris Lowe, showing the defensive prowess out there on the mound. There's one away. So 1-3 ground out for the Pilots, and that will now bring up Jake Kelleher. And Chris Lowe, since giving up those 4 runs in the first inning, has been dialed in. Again, not that those 4 runs were really against him. There were 5 errors in the first inning for the Pilots. Lowe comes set. The first pitch to Kelleher. Taken for that one, actually just misses low. Counts at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out to Jack Kelleher, the catcher tonight for the Pioneers. 4-1 to your score. Big swing and a big miss. Counts now even up at 1. 1 ball and a strike. That one swung on and hit down the line. That one will be down for an extra base hit as Kelleher's going to round and head towards second. The throw in from left field, not in time. A stand-up double for Jack Kelleher with one away, as that will now bring up Dom Presto, the shortstop, number 2, batting 8th in this lineup for the Pioneers here tonight. He's batting 153 on the summer and reached on an E5 in what should have ended the first inning. So Dom Presto will step in now for the Elmira Pioneers. First pitch from Chris Lowe. That one swung and fouled off down the third base line. Counts it 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike. The 0-1. Swung on, and that one hit into right field. Coming in is the right fielder who makes the play. And no advancing of the runners. So an F9 is making the play out there in right field. It's Tatsunori Ngeshi playing right field for the first time this summer. And that will now bring up Nick Bisaccia. Bisaccia, the second baseman, number 22, 0 for 1 in the night, lined out right to Harris McReynolds to end that first inning. Batting 071, that one taken for a strike. Count is at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 away for Chris Lowe. Gave up a 1-out double looking to get out of this inning. The 0-1 delivery from Lowe. Taken for a strike. Count is at 0-2 now. So no balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Chris Lowe coming set yet again. 1 strike away from getting out at the top of the 4th. The 0-2. That one bounced, and good stop from Nick Payne. Counts now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs on the top of the 4th inning. 4-1 lead for Elmira. The 1-2 delivery. That one misses high. Counts now even up at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Again, Chris Lowe 1 strike away. From getting out of the inning. Nick Payne will come out in conference with his pitcher. So far for Chris Lowe, 46-22 strike to ball ratio. He's throwing a strike more than half of the time, which is very significant, especially in a summer collegiate league. He's been dealing thus far for the Pilots. As Bisaccia will step back in, tonight's second baseman. Chris Lowe will come set. The 2-2 delivery. Swung, and that one hit foul down the line on the play. We'll do the 2-2 again. To tonight's second baseman, Nick Bisaccia from New Providence, New Jersey. Plays his college baseball at Seton Hall Division I program in the Big East. 2-2 pitch. That one swung and fouled off. We'll do the 2-2 again. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat from Lowe to Bisaccia. Again, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. 4-1 your score. Pioneers lead the Pilots. And without those 5 errors, Pilots likely will be leading this game at this point. The pitch. clips the outer half of the plate, and Bisaccia goes down on strikes. That's Chris Lowe's fourth strikeout of the ball game. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. As we are back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. It's Mitchell Kelly stepping up to the dish now for the Newark Pilots. Kelly thus far struck out swinging back in the first inning. Coming into the game, batting .302. That's good for third on the team in batting average. First pitch taken for a strike, counts it 0-1, and waiting on deck is the dangerous hitting Jack Archimone, leading the Pilots in batting average coming into this game at .320. They're going to contest down to first. They're going to say Kelly went around. Count is at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to Mitchell Kelly. The 0-2. Swung on that one, hit down the line. Foul territory as both Pioneers players will watch that one drop. Counts at 0-2 to Mitchell Kelly, the leadoff batter in the bottom of the fourth inning here as the Pilots come up to bat. Jack Archimone awaits on deck. And 4-1 your score in the bottom of the fourth inning. Since putting up those 4 runs in the top of the first, the Pioneers have been held scoreless through 3 straight for the Pilots. The pitch. That one's going to hit right back up the middle by Kelly, right at the second baseman. Bisaccia, who throws over to first. A 4-3 ground out, and the first batter of the inning for the Pilots is away, and that'll bring up Jack Archimone, who flew out to right field in his first at-bat. Remember that first at-bat against Yastrzemski, Jack Archimone smoked that thing out into right field, but it just stayed in the ballpark. As the right fielder, Schroeder, was trailing all the way to the warning track. First pitch misses for a ball, counts at 1-0. To the Pilots, leader in batting average at .320, Jack Archimone. No Michael Mugen in the lineup tonight for the Pilots, but was named to the PGCBL All-Star team. That one taken for a strike. Count is at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Jack Archimone, the 1-1. Swung on and fouled into the glove. Counts at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jack Archimone. Yastrzemski already ready on the mound. Quick pitching stance. The 1-2. That one misses high. Looked like a little bit of a breaking pitch. Counts at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Archimone will step into the box. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses high. The count's now pushed full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch to Archimone from Yastrzemski. Misses high. And it's a 1-out walk for Jack Archimone, and that will now bring up Tim Wagner. Tim Wagner will step over the dish now after the 1-out walk to Archimone. That'll put him on first. Waiting on deck is Harrison McReynolds now for the Pilots. So Tim Wagner steps in. The first pitch, that one swung out and smoked down the right field sign. That one is going to be caught by the right fielder Schroeder and thrown back to first. So a double play for the Pilots to end the inning. 9-3 double play. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio, Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Back here on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. First pitch, Spencer Aubin facing Chris Lowe out for another inning work. That one's fouled off. Counts at 0-1. So far for Lowe, he's thrown 72 pitches through 5 innings, giving up no runs. 4 runs total. None of them earned. After the 5 errors in that first inning for the Pilots, completely changed the complexion of this game. They're still looking to bounce back. That one misses low. Counts at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and no outs, and still no one up really warming for the Pilots. Looks like Michael Walsh is up and stepping around down there. The University of Maryland Terrapin. 1-1 pitch. Changeup just misses inside. Counts at 2-1 now. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and no outs. Top of the 5th inning. 4-1 your score. Sun peeking through the clouds there in left center field. The pitch. That one swung and fouled off. Counts now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter, Spencer Aubin, who struck out looking back in the 2nd inning for the Pioneers. Two balls, 2 strikes. The 2 delivery from Lowe. That one swung on and missed and fouled into the glove, actually, but still strike 3. Chris Lowe's 5th strikeout of the ballgame thus far. As that one now will bring up Wes Gingrich, the center fielder, 0 for 2 in the night thus far. Reached on the E6 to lead off the game and then grounded out 4-3. So 0 for 2 technically on the night for Gingrich, who's out to face Chris Lowe for the 3rd time here tonight. Gingrich batting 195 on the summer. Lowe has been dominant since that first inning. That one swung and roped into right field. Tatsunori back on it. That one all the way to the wall. As that one actually hit off the wall. Gingrich is rounding, heading towards third. The throw in is not in time. So, 1-out triple for Gingrich as he advances to third. As that one now bring up Joe Muzio. Gingrich smoked that fastball into right field. That one hit off the wall. And Geshe just turned and watched that one. Thought that one was going to escape the yard here at Colburn Park, but Gingrich has a 1-out triple, and that brings up the left-handed hitting Joe Muzio. Singled in his last plate appearance, reached on a fielder's choice. That one smoked, and that one's going to be an RBI single for Gingrich on the first pitch from low. So 5-1 your score now. As that will now bring up John Schroeder. So Gingrich comes in to score on the RBI single from John Schroeder, and that now brings up from Joe Muzio, that brings up John Schroeder now. Swung on a miss, counts it 0-1 now to Schroeder, who walked and scored in the first and then struck out swinging in the third. 0-for-1 in the night thus far. 0-1 the count, the 0-1. That one misses outside, counts at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, one strike, and 1 out. 5-1 lead now for the Elmira Pioneers. That one swung and fouled off, counts at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out to John Schroeder, the right fielder, batting .275 coming into this game for the Pioneers. As he'll step back in. From Lakewood Ranch, Florida. That one misses outside. Counts now even up at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one misses as well. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. The count now. Three balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. That one swung on and hit, and that's going to be another bloop single over the leaping Jack Polowich. Muzio going to third. The throw in time. Great play. Score that one 9-6-5 for the out. And now there are 2 away. So what a play. Tatsunori and Geshe finding the cutoff man Flaherty, who guns out Muzio at third. 9-6-5 on the putout. Muzio, not sure why he advanced. As that throw into third base. There's 2 away now for the Pioneers. As Aiden Blake, the designated hitter, steps in. That one swung on and popped up. Foul down the first base side. Counts at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs to Aiden Blake, designated hitter. The pitch, taken for a strike, and Blake falling behind the count 0-2. Again, struck out swinging in his last at bat in the 3rd inning. Reached on an E5 and scored in the first as well. No balls, 2 strikes. Chris Lowe comes set. The 0-2, runner goes. Swung on, and that one hit right to Flaherty at short. Throws over to Polowich at first. A 6-3 ground out to end the inning, but the Pioneers pick up 1 run on an RBI single off the bat of Joe Muzio. Extend their lead to 4. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio, the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. As we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. It's Harris McReynolds leading things off for the Pilots. In the bottom of the fifth inning, Pilots trail the Pioneers 5-1 after the Pioneers tack on one more run on an RBI single from Joe Muzio in the top half of the fifth. First pitch to McReynolds counts at 1-0 as that one missed for a ball. Struck out swinging his first plate appearance in the second inning. That one swung on and hit, and that one's going to get down for a leadoff base hit for McReynolds right off the knob at the end of the bat, So first pitch swinging from McReynolds as he has a single, and that'll now bring up Nick Payne, tonight's catcher for the Pilots. So Nick Payne going to step up to the dish after the leadoff single from Harris McReynolds, and Pilots not going away just yet. They still trail by 4, but that's one way to start off an inning for the Pilots. Tim Wagner waits on deck. Payne steps in, struck out swinging in the third inning in his first at-bat. Batting 153 coming in this game. The pitch from Yastrzemski, that one taken on the outer half of the plate for the strike, counts at 0-1. So far for Griffin Yastrzemski, 4 innings of work, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, 38-25 strike-to-ball ratio. As Yastrzemski looks over, no balls, 1 strike. The 0-1. That one misses outside. Count is at 1-1 now. So good take there from Nick Payne from Centenary University. So Payne will step back in. McReynolds with a little bit of a speed over there at first. We'll see if he is going to be taking second. That one misses low. Counts at 2-1 now. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and no outs. Harris McReynolds on first. Pilots looking to get back in this game. Throw over from Yastrzemski as McReynolds dives back in safely. The count is at 2-1 still. Again, Tim Wagner from Wheaton College in Massachusetts, from Hingham, Massachusetts, waits on deck. Jack Polowitz, The pitch. That one misses low, so after the first pitch strike, 3 straight balls, counts at 3-1, and Yastrzemski in danger of putting back-to-back runners on. As there is someone up and working in the Pioneers' pen, at least stretching, getting ready. 3 balls, 1 strike to 3-1. That one misses outside, so back-to-back runners on base for the Pilots, a single from McReynolds and a walk from Payne, as that will now bring up Jack Polowitz. So Polowitz coming up from St. Bonaventure University. We'll see if the bunt is on for the Pilots. Perfect opportunity for it to advance McReynolds and Payne. Paulie Goodness awaits on deck for the Pilots. Polowitz going to step up. Imagine the bunt will be on here. Polowitz squares the bunt. That one's pulled back. Counts at 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes, and no outs. As Polowitz will step back in. Yastrzemski comes set. The 1-0 pitch, Polowitz squares the bunt. That one bunted right back to the pitcher. Perfect bunt there. Throw over to third. And that one was a good play by Yastrzemski. Scored that one. A fielder's choice 1-5, and there's 1 away. As that will now bring up Paulie Goodness for the Pilots with 1 away. Good bunt from Polowitz, but just too bouncy. That one went right back to the pitcher, Yastrzemski, who had a heads-up play and quickly threw it to the third baseman, Ray Hernandez. First pitch to Paulie. Swung on, and that one hit, popped up down the first base line. Muzio looking up, and that one will hit the picnic area over there. And the first base side counts it 0-1. Paulie Goodness playing left field tonight for the Pilots, 0-1. Flew out to right back in the third inning. So Frankie Vanzalata on the top of the order, wait on deck. Goodness can find a way to get on base. Pilots have bases loaded at the top of the order. We'll see. No balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. The 0-1. Change up taken for a strike. Counts at 0-2 now. So no balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out to Paulie Goodness. Yastrzemski comes set. The 0-2. Swung on that one, a little dribbler right to the guy at short. Flips to the second baseman and on to first. Not in time. So that one's not in time. It's a 6-4 fielder's choice. As that will now bring up Frankie Vanzalata for the Pilots. Singled in his last plate appearance and scored that run for the Pilots. So Frankie Vanzalata will step in. So runners on the corners for the Pilots. 5-1 your score. Frankie Vanzalata singled in his last plate appearance. Counts at 1-0 to him. He has a chance to score another run here for the Pilots. Nick Payne sits 90 feet away on third. The 1-0. That one misses low. Counts at 2-0. And a walk here would walk the bases loaded. Paulie Goodness sits on first. Again, we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-1 lead for the Pioneers. Yastrzemski coming set. The 2-0 delivery. Runner goes. Goodness is going to steal second base with ease. So runners on second and third now. The count's at 3-0. Likely a red light here for Vanzalata with the dangerous hitting Michael Flaherty awaiting on deck for the Pilots. Imagine if he walks him here, you'll get a meeting from the pitching coach of the Elmira Pioneers. The pitch. Fastball taken for a strike. Counts at 3-1 now. So 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Three balls, 1 strike. Vanzalata steps in. The 3-1. That one swung on and hit second base side. Then that one's going to hit off his leg, and they're going to send Paulie Goodness home. And that one is actually going to be a 2 RBI single for Frankie Vanzalata, as that will now bring up Michael Flaherty. So a 2 RBI single for Frankie Vanzalata, and it's 5-3. 5-3 your score now. That's 5-3 the score. Michael Flaherty steps in after the 2 RBI single from Frankie Vanzalata. As the count's at 1-0. Vanzalata sits on first. 5-3 your score now. Completely different game now. Vanzalata runs, swing. The hit and run was on for the Pilots. Geneva Red Wings lead the first place Batavia Muck Dogs 2-1 in the top of the 8th inning as well. Completely different ball game here at Colburn Park now after the 2 RBI single from Frankie Vanzalata. Pilots looking on to tack some more runs on. One ball, 1 strike. Yastrzemski comes set the 1-1. That one taken for a strike. That one fastball looked low, but the count's at 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Sitting on first is Frankie Vanzalata, who's 2 for 3 tonight. The 1-2. That one bounced in the dirt. Good stop from the catcher. Vanzalata will retreat to first. Counts at 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Tatsunori and Geshi awaits on deck. Tying run at the plate for the Pilots and Michael Flaherty. And a well-placed ball with that speed from Vanzalata. Likely good scoring from first. Pilots trail by 2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, a 2-2. Swung a hit on a line right at Ray Hernandez at third. Backhands at the throw over to first. Is going to be in time for the out. So 5-3 ground out from Flaherty at the end of the inning, but the Pilots score 2 more runs. They now trail 5-3 by 2 runs. Heading to the top of the 6th. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. We are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. I'm Kyle French. Top of the 6th inning, pitching change for the Pilots as it's Cameron Kingsley from St. John Fisher University coming on to pitch for the Pilots. Kingsley wearing number 31. Pilots wearing their home white jerseys from Fairport, New York, not too far away. First pitch to Ray Hernandez, misses high and away, counts at 1-0. Kingsley coming into this one for the Newark Pilots in 3.2 innings of work, has a 9.81 ERA, looking to change his fortune. The pitch, that one swung and smoked into right field. That one, Tatsunori chasing over, and he's going to make the catch. So a loud F9 to lead off the inning. And the second pitch from Ray Hernandez, that will now bring up Chris Baer, the extra hitter. He's 1 for 2 in the night thus far. Singled and scored in the first and grounded out 1-3 in the fourth. So Baer steps in to face Cam Kingsley. The pitch, curveball taken at the knees. Count is at 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike in now as Cam Kingsley will step in. 4th appearance of the summer for him. The 0-1. Curveball, that one misses inside. The count is at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out to Cam Kingsley, the St. John Fisher University Cardinal. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball, that one fouled right into the backstop. The count's at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, in and out. Kingsley looking to get the out here. The 1-2 pitch. That one swung on and dribbled right to Flaherty at short, who's going to scoop it and quickly throw over to first. A 6-3 ground out. What a play. Michael Flaherty there at short. Bringing those skills over from London, England. And there's 2 away. As that will now bring up Jake Kelleher, the catcher. 0 for 2 in the night. 1 for 2 in the night. Reached on an E5 in the first inning and doubled in the fourth. So Kelleher, the catcher, will step in. 5-3 your score. And again, the Pilots not out of this one yet. That one popped up right side. Tatsunori and Geshi underneath it. They don't make the play at the end of the inning. So 1-2-3, go the Elmira Pioneers heading to the bottom of the sixth. 2-run ball game, 5-3 your score. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. As we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. It's Tatsunori Ngeshi, the right fielder, number 8, leading things off for the Newark Pilots here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And it's Griffin Yastrzemski out for another inning of work for the Pioneers. So far for him in 5 innings of work, 4 hits and 4 strikeouts, 3 runs given up. Pilots got to Yastrzemski last inning, scoring 2 runs off the bat of Frankie Vanzalata, 2 RBI single. Counts at 0-2. 2 quick strikes to Tatsu. Waiting on deck is Mitchell Kelly, and then behind him, Jack Archimone. So right in the heart of this order for the Pilots, looking to tie this game. Fastball misses outside. Count is at 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and no outs to the leadoff man, Tatsu. That one misses high to the fastball. Counts at 2-2 now. And there is someone up and warming in the Pioneers bullpen, as that's number 27, Connor Lutz from Libertyville, Illinois, Northern Illinois University, NIU. That one misses. So after 2 straight strikes, 3 straight balls, and we have a full count now to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-3 your score. Pilots with a chance to come back in this game. The payoff pitch swung on, and that one roped into right field. That one hits off the wall in foul territory. So we'll do the 3-2 again. Tatsu got every piece of that ball, as that one strikes the wall in the Pilots' pen over there. We'll do the 3-2 again. That one misses low in the dirt. A leadoff walk for Ngeshi. He'll head to first, as that will now bring up Mitchell Kelly for the Pilots. So Mitchell Kelly will step up, and there's going to be a meeting from the pitching coach for the Pioneers. So meeting from the pitching coach as we await to see what the Pioneers will do here. So pitching meeting quickly over. No need for the Jeopardy music here at Colburn Park, as we were waiting to see if it was going to be The pitching change or a mound visit, it looks like Yastrzemski will have one more batter at least as he faces Mitchell Kelly after walking Tatsuno Ringachi, looking to probably try and buy some time for Lutz down there. Connor Lutz warming up in the pen for the Pioneers. Kelly steps in. Yastrzemski coming set. The first pitch. Big cut and a big miss from Mitchell Kelly, counts it 0-1. And waiting on deck is the dangerous hitting Pilots leader in batting average, Jack Arcamo. No balls, one strike. Yastrzemski comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Taken for a strike at the knees. Counts at 0-2 now. No balls, two strikes, and no outs. To the second man of the inning for the Pilots, it's Mitchell Kelly. And Gashi on first. We'll see if they send him. No balls, two strikes. The 0-2. That one, curveball, drops in for strike three. Kelly's second strikeout and fifth strikeout for Yastrzemski overall. As that will now bring up Jack Arcamone for the Pilots. Arcamone, the University of Richmond commit, will step up to the dish. So Arcamone steps in. Gashi on first. That one swung on a hanging curveball. It's hit out to right field. That one's going to get down. And Gashi around second. He's going to head to third. That one all the way to the wall as they're going to hold Tatsu at second. A one-out double for Jack Arcamone, who does the Pilots celebration on second. As that will now bring up Timmy Wagner. So that's going to bring in Connor Lutz. Pitching change for the Elmira Pioneers. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Tim Wagner will step in to face Connor Lutz. First pitch to Wagner. That one swung on into left field. That will score 1 run, and they're going to send Archimone into the plate. The throw in from left field. Actually, Archimone will retreat back. As that one gets out into the outfield, it's going to be an error, and the Pilots will score 2 runs. And Tim Wagner will be awarded third base. Tie game here at Colburn Park as 2 runs score on the RBI, 2 RBI single from Tim Wagner. As that will now bring up Harris McReynolds. So Andrew Drum arguing with the home plate umpire. 5-5 your score now. As the home plate umpire giving an explanation. Andrew Drum not happy with it, but home plate umpire is not going to hear it. 5-5 your score after the 2 RBI single from Tim Wagner. Brand new ball game. Harris McReynolds hits that one right at the shortstop who fields it to throw into the dish. Not in time. An RBI single and the Pilots take a 6-5 lead. Fire me up, baby. The Pilots take a 6-5 lead. Another RBI single. And just like that, completely new ball game here at Colburn Park. Fire me up. And Andrew. So head coach Andrew Drum has just been tossed. As that will now bring up Nick Payne. So Andrew Drum has been tossed. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. So we are back on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. That one's going to get to the backstop. 2 straight balls from Connor Lutz. And a completely new ball game here at Colburn Park. Lots of confusion going on, so I'll fill you guys all in. A player was tossed for Elmira. Head coach Andrew Drum was tossed as well. And he will serve a 1-game suspension now. 6-5 Pilots lead after all sorts of confusion here. And Nick Payne's at the plate now. 3 straight balls to him. The count's at 3-0. And the Pilots have come alive in the last 2 innings, scoring 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. And it's a completely new ball game here at Colburn Park. As Jack Polowitz awaits on deck and squaring the buttons, Nick Payne will pull it back. It's a 1-out walk for Nick Payne. He'll head to first. And that'll bring up Jack Polowitz now. So Jack Polowitz coming up to the dish now. 6-5 score. Runners on first and second. As Jack Polowitz will step in. Completely different ball game here at Colburn Park. And in the matter of what felt like seconds, so fast-paced, the Pilots were down 5-3 coming into this inning. And all of a sudden, lightning quick, score 3 runs. First pitch swinging from Polowitz, counts at 0-1 now. So no balls, 1 strike, and 1 out to Jack Polowitz. The pitch, swung on and missed. The count's at 0-2 now. Paulie Goodness awaits on deck for the Pilots. In the bottom of the 6th. Six-5 your score. The 0-2 pitch. That one misses outside. The count's at 1-2 now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Completely new ball game here at Colburn Park. And since coming into the game, Connor Lutz not up to his dominant ways as that one swung on and fouled into the glove for the 2nd out. As that will now bring up Paulie Goodness for the Pilots with runners on first and second. So Paulie Goodness will step in for the Pilots with McReynolds on second, Nick Payne on first. Pilots with a chance here. Vanzalata on the top of the order, await on deck. First pitch swinging, that one a little dribbler right past Lutz, and Paulie Goodness is going to be in there for a single. So that's a single for Paulie Goodness, and the bases are now loaded for Frankie Vanzalata. Such a chaotic inning here at Colburn Park. The Pilots are hot. Scoring 3 runs already this inning, and Vanzalata will step in. He's 2 for 2 in his last at-bats. Had a 2 RBI single in his last one and a single before that. Vanzalata will step in 2 for 3 on the night, and he's got a chance here to blow this one open. First pitch to Vanzalata. Fastball misses high. Counts at 1-0. Fire me up. All about it. Again, Vanzalata back-to-back singles in his last 2 appearances. 2 RBI in the last. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and that one hit into left field. That one is going to stay up just long enough for the left fielder, Spencer Albin, to make a play. But not before the Newark Pilots score 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, heading to the top of the 7th inning. 6-5 Pilots lead. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. As we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, it's Dom Presto leading things off, the shortstop for the Pioneers. So Dom Presto leading things off for the Pioneers. Kim Kingsley with the pitch, back out for another inning of work. That one misses low in the dirt. Counts at 1-0. No one up and warming in the pen yet for the Pilots. So it's Kingsley's game at the moment. As Presto calls time, 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch from Cam Kingsley. Fastball misses low. The count's at 2-0 now. 2 balls, no strikes, and no outs. Cam Kingsley with the pitch. Fastball right down the middle. Counts at 2-1 now. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and no outs. The 2-1. That one swung on and popped up out of play. Counts at 2-2 now. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and no outs. Kingsley dealing thus far for the Pilots. As Donahue and Walsh, what it looks like down there stretching. That one swung on and popped up. Pawlowicz in foul territory. We'll watch that one kick foul. As that one's caught by a fan in the stands here at Colburn Park. We'll do the 2-2 again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As we are actually in the top of the 7th inning. Newark Pilots put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th to give them 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th to give them a 6-5 lead. The 2-2 pitch misses outside. Counts at 3-2 now. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Kingsley coming set. The 3-2 pitch from Kingsley. Curveball, that one fouled off right towards the dugout of the Elmira Pioneers, so we'll do it again. Three balls, 2 strikes, and no outs. As Dom Presto will step back in 0 for 2 on the night thus far. Flew out to right in his last appearance. That one swung, and that one hit right on a line to Wagner, who fields it, and a little bit of redemption will throw over to first for the out. A 5-3 ground out for Tim Wagner, and there's 1 away. As that will now bring up Nick Bisaccia for the Pioneers. So Bisaccia will step in. One ball, no strikes, and 1 out. As that one misses as well. 2 straight balls. The 2-0 delivery from Kingsley. That one bounced in the dirt. Counts at 3-0 now. 3 balls, no strikes, and 1 out. With Spencer Aubin awaiting on deck. The 3-0. That one misses outside, so a 4-pitch walk to Bisaccia. As that will now bring up number 22, Spencer Aubin. And there is finally someone up and warming in the Pilots bullpen. As not sure who that is down there. We'll alert you when we know. Could be Brantley Griggs down there from the appearance. But again, once we know more, we will let you guys know. Listening at home, and first pitch misses for a ball. Counts at 1-0 to Spencer Aubin. Pilots looking for some outs here in the worst way. Last thing you want is to blow another lead here in the top of the 7th. They lead 6-5. Kingsley comes set. The 1-0. Bounce in the dirt. That one's going to get to the backstop. Payne didn't even see it as Bisaccia advances to second. So a wild pitch from Kingsley. And the count's at 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, and 1 out. As Spencer Aubin will step back in. 2 balls, no strikes to count. 2 balls, no strikes, and 1 out. Cam Kingsley will come set. Looks like Brantley Griggs is warming up down there. The 2-0. Fastball misses high. The count's at 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes, and an out. As Spencer Aubin steps back in. The 3-0. Fastball right over the heart of the plate, counts at 3-1 now. Good break for Kingsley. 3 balls, 1 strike, in and out. Kingsley comes set. The St. John Fisher Cardinal. The 3-1. Curveball drops in for a strike, and that will push the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Spencer Aubin will step back in. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Kingsley coming set. The 3-2 delivery. That one misses low. It'll be ball 4, and that will put runners on first and second. As that will now bring up Wes Gingrich, the center fielder. So Wes Gingrich, the center fielder, will step up to the dish now for the Pioneers, and Daniel Steves is going to come out and chat with his pitcher, and he's going to call to the bullpen right away. So Kingsley's night will be over. Pitching change for the Pilots. We'll alert you when we come back from the break. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. as we are back on Finger Lakes One Radio, the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv, as it's Brantley Griggs coming on in relief for the Pilots. One away here, runners on first and second, first pitch. Change up, good pitch there, counts it 0-1, as it's Wes Gingrich, the leadoff batter in this order for the Pioneers. He already has a triple and came around to score in the fifth. Pilots looking to get out of the bases runner jam, and who better to do it than Brantley Griggs, the ace, with a 0.96 ERA. Swung, and that one fouled off. The count is at 0-2 now. Griggs in 9.1 innings of work thus far. Has been very solid for the Pilots. And warming up in the pen as well is Michael Walsh. So, as I said, closer 1A and 1B for the Pilots. Looking to finish this game off quickly, 0-2 to Wes Gingrich. Pasaccia on second. Aubin on first. The 0-2 pitch from Griggs. That one catches the outer half of the plate. Strike three. And right in out of the bullpen, Brantley Griggs sits him down, and there's two away. As that will now bring up Joe Muzio, the first baseman. Muzio 2 for 3 on the night thus far. So Muzio will step in. Singled in each of his last plate appearances. Had an RBI in that last one. Muzio steps in to face Brantley Griggs with two away here. Griggs looking to get out of the jam in the top of the seventh. The pitch. Curveball misses low. Counts at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, and 2 outs. 6-5 your score. Top of the seventh. Brantley Griggs on in relief of Cam Kingsley. Final stat line for Kingsley, 1.1 innings of work and 2 walks. Gave up no hits. The 1-0. Big swing and a big miss. Change up, fooled Muzio. Counts at 1-1 now. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Joe Muzio will step back in. He's been one of the most reliable bats for the Pioneers here tonight. The 1-1. That one swung on a rope, and that one is down the line. That will score 1 run, and they're going to send Aubin from first. Tatsunori Ngeshi gets the ball at the wall to throw in, and they're going to send Aubin home. It's a 2 RBI single for Muzio, and the Pioneers take a 7-6 lead on the 2 RBI double from Joe Muzio. So, Pioneers take a 7-6 lead, but far from over in the top of the seventh, as that will now bring up John Schroeder, the right fielder, 1 for 2 on the night thus far. So the Pioneers take a 7-6 lead on the 2 RBI double. That one got all the way down the first base line from lefty Muzio, and that'll bring up another lefty, John Schroeder. The pitch, curveball misses low, counts at 1-0. So Griggs comes set. Schroeder steps back in. 1-0 the count. Right in the heart of this Pioneers order. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0. That one misses inside. Good stop from Payne. The count's at 2-0 now. 2 balls, no strikes, and 2 outs. Aiden Blake awaits on deck for the Pioneers. Again, 2 balls, no strikes, and 2 outs. 7-6 lead for the Pioneers now after that 2 RBI double from Muzio. That one misses as well. 3 straight balls. It counts at 3-0 now. 7-6. 3 balls, no strikes, and 2 outs. Griggs comes set. The 3-0 pitch. That one misses low in the dirt, and that's going to be a 4-pitch walk. And that will now bring up Aiden Blake, the designated hitter. So Aiden Blake coming up to the dish now. 0 for 3 on the night thus far. Grounded out 6-3 to end the 5th inning. So Blake will step up. That one misses low. Good stop from Payne. So 1 ball, no strikes, and 2 outs. Brantley Griggs on the dish. 7-6 lead for the Pioneers. That one misses low as well. The count's at 2-0 now. And now Griggs in danger, walking the bases loaded here. Michael Walsh already up and working in the Pilots bullpen. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Griggs comes set. The 2-0. That one's going to hit right at third base. Wagner fields it and throws onto first, and it's going to be another error for Tim Wagner. 1 run will score, and it's going to be an E5, the 4th error for Tim Wagner of the game, and the Pioneers now take an 8-6 lead. As that will now bring up Ray Hernandez for the Pioneers. And the runner will advance to second as well on the E5. 6th error of the game for the Pilots. 4th for Tim Wagner. Simply inexcusable for the Pilots. And what should have been an easy out. The pitch from Griggs, curveball taken for a strike. Count is at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Pioneers score 3 of their own in the top of the 7th. The pitch from Griggs, fanned in the dirt. That one's going to get to the backstop, and another run will score. And 9-6 your score now. After the Pilots took a 6-5 to lead, they give up 4 runs. Another error for the Pilots, their 6th of the game, and the score is 9-6 now. And there's 2 outs. And just like that, a great comeback. Now turned into a 3-run deficit for the Pilots. That pitch misses in the dirt. Counts at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Ray Hernandez at the plate for the Pioneers. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The 1-2. That one swung on and hit right to the first baseman, Paulovich, who scoops it and touches first, but the Pioneers put up 4 runs in this inning. Heading to the bottom of the 7th, 9-6 lead for the Pioneers. We'll be right back on Figure Lakes 1 Radio, Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. as we are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. 4 runs in the top half of the 7th inning give the Elmira Pioneers a 9-6 lead. So Michael Flaherty leading things off for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 7th. As he'll step in. First pitch, Connor Lutz taken for a strike. So far for Lutz in 2/3 inning of work. 3 hits, a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. Pilots got the better of Lutz when he came in to pitch. The 0-1. Big swing and a big miss from Michael Flaherty. Counts now 0-2. Pilots right in the heart of this order. Waiting on deck is Tatsunori Ngeshi. No better time to answer back if the Pilots can. That one swung and hit right at the shortstop. It's going to be a backhanded play, and that's going to be an E6 for Flaherty. As that will now bring up Tatsunori Ngeshi. That was a well-hit ball by Flaherty. That one was on the fringe of being a hit or an error, as it had the shortstop trailing to his offhand. But nonetheless, E6 for Michael Flaherty. He advances to first. Foul ball there from Ngeshi. Counts at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and no outs. That was the Pioneers' 3rd error of the ball game. Only half the amount of errors that the Pilots have. The Pilots have 6 errors here. But a leadoff base runner will put them in better spirits as Tatsunori Ngeshi steps in. Mitchell Kelly awaits on deck. Lutz comes set, the 0-1. That one misses outside. The count's at 1-1 now. One ball, 1 strike, and no outs. As Ngeshi steps back in. Ngeshi is 1 for 2 on the night. That one swung on a hit right at the first baseman, who will flip and throw to the shortstop. So that's a 3-6 fielder's choice. The runner at first base was put out. As that will now bring up Mitchell Kelly for the Pilots. And there's one away here for the Pilots, and that now brings up Mitchell Kelly 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a ground out. That one misses outside. The count is at 1-0 now. Kelly came into this game at 302 with a batting average. Looking for his first hit of the ball game. Jack Archimone had that big double in his last at-bat and came around to score. We'll have a chance here for the Pilots. That one misses outside. The count's at 2-0 now. 2 balls, no strikes, and an out. Mitchell Kelly at the plate. The 2-0 pitch from Lutz. That one misses high as well. The count's at 3-0 now. 3 balls, no strikes, and an out. Pilots right in the heart of their order. So no better time to answer back than the bottom of the 7th. That one misses as well. 4-pitch walk for Kelly. He'll head to first. As that one now bring up Jack Archimone. Jack Archimone stepping up to the plate now. And it looks like Lutz's night will be over. Jack Archimone's going to be stepping up to the dish. We're going to take a break. Pitching change for the Pioneers. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. We are back here on Finger Lakes One Radio on the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. It's Jack Archimone stepping in. And from what I'm being told, it's one of the statistically best closers for the Pioneers. Gardner Meeks from Virginia Beach, Virginia, plays his college ball at Roanoke College. Has a little bit of a weird submarine pitching stance. First pitch to Archimone. Fastball misses high and away. Counts at 1-0. 1 out here. Sitting on second base is Tatsuno Ringeshi. Mitchell Kelly on first. Tim Wagner awaits on deck for the Pilots. Archimone steps in, the 1-0 pitch. That one misses high as well, and the count's at 2-0. And the University of Richmond commit with that big bat. He has been electric for the Pilots here this summer. Team leader in batting average at 320. And he's the tying run at the plate. Archimone has shown that he has power. Flied out earlier to the warning track because that one smoked down the third base line. That one will get into the Pioneers bullpen. Counts at 2-1 now. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out to Jack Archimone. Archimone will step in, batting out of the left side of the batter's box. 2 balls, 1 strike. Meeks coming set. The 2-1. That one misses high and away. The count's now 3-1. And Tim Wagner awaiting on deck. Behind him, Harris McReynolds. A walk here would walk the bases loaded. The tying run at the plate. Jack Archimone, the Pilots leader in batting average, a 3-1. That one misses high, and that will walk the bases loaded. And Meeks wanted no part of Jack Archimone. A 5-pitch walk, as that will now bring up Tim Wagner with the bases loaded. And don't forget, Tim Wagner had that monster 2 RBI double in his last at-bat that scored 2 runs for the Pilots and gave them that 6-5 lead just an inning ago. So Tim Wagner will step up with bases loaded yet again and looking to make up for those errors at third base. What a better way to do it. Bases loaded. Leading run at the plate for the Pilots. Wagner steps into face. Gardner Meeks, ready on ready matchup. First pitch. Fastball misses outside. The count is at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, in and out. 9-6 your score, bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded for the Pilots. This has been a back and forth affair since about the 4th inning. Meeks comes set. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch from Meeks. That one swung on and hit. That one's going to be hit out into right field. That one's going to get down as they're going to send their base runner home. Tatsuno Ringeshi slides in safely. It's an RBI single for Tim Wagner, his 3rd RBI of the game. As that will now bring up Harris McReynolds. So Harris McReynolds will step up to the dish now. 9-7 your score now. And the tying run sits on second base for the Pilots. Bases loaded. McReynolds steps in. 2 for 3 on the night. Pair of singles. We'll look for another one here to tie this ball game. Mitchell Kelly on third. That one taken for a strike at the letters. Counts at 0-1. Jack Archimone sits on second. Mitchell Kelly on third. Tim Wagner with 3 RBI tonight sits on first. 0-1 the count to McReynolds. The 0-1 delivery. Misses high. That fastball, a lot of heat on it. Counts at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike in and out. 1's across the top of the scoreboard. Tying run and Jack Archimone at second. Mitchell Kelly on third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Meeks comes set. The 1-1 pitch. That one taken at the letters as well. The count's at 1-2. 2 pitches right at the numbers, right at the lettering on his chest for McReynolds. Counts at 1-2. Harris McReynolds with a chance to tie this ball game with a single. The 1-2 pitch from Meeks. That one swung on and popped out of play. The count is at 1-2. Wagner on first. Awaiting on deck is Nick Payne for the Pilots. One ball, 2 strikes. Harris McReynolds at the dish. The lefty from Mississippi, Starkville, Mississippi, with a chance here for the Pilots to give them the lead. What an exciting game here at the Burn. After Elmira scored 4 runs in the first inning, it seemed like this one was going to get away from the Pilots, but it bounced back and forth. The pitch, that one misses outside. That one's going to get to the backstop. In comes Mitchell Kelly, and Mitchell Kelly will score. It's a 1-run ball game. Mitchell Kelly scores on the wild pitch. So 9-8 score now. And now a well-placed ball from Harris McReynolds could give the Pilots the lead. 9-8 your score. Harris McReynolds steps back in. 2-2 the count. Gardner Meeks, who was supposed to be one of the best pitchers, closing pitchers for the Pioneers, has been just the opposite of that thus far. The 2-2 pitch to McReynolds. That one swung and hit foul. Good piece from McReynolds. The count's now 2-2. Nine-8 your score. Harris McReynolds steps back into the batter's box. Gardner Meeks comes set. The 2-2. That one misses outside, and that will push the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes in and out. Nick Payne awaiting on deck. Harris McReynolds steps in. The 3-2. That one misses high, and he works a walk. That will walk. The base is loaded. As that will now bring up Nick Payne. So Nick Payne will come up to the plate now. And the bases are loaded for the Newark Pilots. Nick Payne has a chance to blow this thing open and give the Pilots the lead. 9-8 your score. As Nick Payne will step up to the dish. Gardner Meeks came into this game for the Pioneers in 19.1 innings of work with a 0.93 ERA. So Nick Payne's going to step up to the dish now. Base is loaded and has a chance to give the Pilots the lead here. So Nick Payne steps in. The pitch. That one comes in and hits him, and that will score a run. And it's 9-9 now. A hit by pitch and an RBI for Nick Payne. And that'll bring up Jack Polowitz. 9-9 your score. Pilots right back in this thing. So the pitching coach, or whatever coach is left after 2 players were tossed, a player and Andrew Drum for the Pioneers. So they're going to come out and chat with Gardner Meeks and see what's going on with him. 9-9 your score. Pilots with already 3 runs this inning. 1 out. So the pitching meeting is adjourned. Jack Polowitz will be stepping up to the dish now for the Pilots. Polowitz from St. Bonaventure University, and has a chance to blow this thing open. And don't forget, Polowitz in that 1-0 win over Geneva Red Wings in game 1 of the doubleheader had the only RBI single of that game. The only run scored was off the bat of Jack Polowitz. So Polowitz with a chance to win this one for the Pilots here. Polowitz steps in. Base is loaded. First pitch to him. Misses outside. The count's at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out. 3 runs already home for the Pilots this inning. In a back-and-forth game, the Pilots tie this one. The 1-0. That one misses high. The count's at 2-0. And Meeks has lost all of his control. 2 balls, no strikes. Meeks had only a 0.93 ERA coming into this one. That one swung on and that one fouled right into the stands. Counts at 2-1. Man, I'm fired up. It's a late night at Colburn Park, and the Pilots are playing great baseball here tonight. 9-9 your score. Jack Polowich steps back in. 2 balls, a strike in and out. Bases loaded. One well-placed swing from Jack Polowich would break this thing open. That one swung on and missed. The count's at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes in and out. Jack Polowich at the dish. As Polowich steps back in. Payne on first. That one swung on and missed, fouled into the glove. And there's now 2 outs, and that'll bring up Paulie Goodness for the Pilots. Paulie Goodness will step up with the bases loaded. The 10-spot hitter for the Pilots. So Paulie Goodness is going to step in. Bases loaded opportunity. Again, 9-9 your score. After the Pilots tied this thing on a hit by pitch from Nick Payne, Paulie Goodness steps in, the local kid, not hometown, but 10 minutes away. He'll have a chance to give the Pilots the lead here. Gardner Meeks steps up. The pitch. Fastball taken for a strike. Count is at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike and 2 outs. Frankie Vanzalata awaits on deck. Meeks coming set. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. 2 straight strikes to Paulie Goodness, and he's quickly behind the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. A back-and-forth game. 9-9 your score. Bottom of the 7th, Paulie Goodness with all the weight on his shoulders. The 0-2. Swung on a broken bat right up the middle. That one's going to get right to the first baseman who's going to scoop it, and Paulie Goodness is going to be out at first. What a close play. Not sure if there will be a contest from Ryan Seals. And no, there will not. A broken bat for Paulie Goodness, and score that one 3 unassisted. A very loud out for the Pilots heading to the top of the 8th. The Pilots put up 3 runs, and they tie this thing at 9. 9-9 your score. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. Back here live at Colburn Park. 9-9 your score. Pioneers put up 4 runs in the top of the 7th. Pilots answer with 3 of their own in the bottom of the 7th. We're tied at 9. 9-9. Brantley Griggs back out for another inning of work, and it's the lefty Michael Walsh warming in the pen. Griggs looking to get it to Walsh. The pitch. Swung on, and that one hit right on the line of Polowich. Scored that one in L3, and there's 1 away. Great play by Jack Polowich, and there's 1 away. As that will now bring up the catcher, number 14, Jake Kelleher. He's batting .250, 1 for 3 on the night thus far. Kelleher flew out to Tatsu and right in his last at-bat. And Griggs is going to change the ball. And don't forget, in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Pilots will be at the top of their lineup. Brantley Griggs coming set. And Griggs will step off. Kelleher had that big double earlier in the 4th, was left on base, though. A loud double. Brantley Griggs from Savannah, Georgia, plays his college baseball at Cayuga Community College. 9-9 your score, top of the 8th inning in a back-and-forth affair. Changeup drops in for a strike. The count's at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and 1 out. Brantley Griggs comes set. No balls, 1 strike. The 0-1 pitch from Griggs. That one misses high, counts at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. And what could potentially be the game of the year in the PGCBL, a back-and-forth game. We've had a 4-0 lead for Elmira, a 6-5 lead for the Pilots, then a 9-6 lead for the Pioneers, now to 9-9. 2-1 the count to Jack Kelleher. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The 2-1 pitch from Griggs. Taken at the knees for a strike. The count is at 2-2. And Kelleher can't believe the call. And you got to think Kelleher probably should just focus on Griggs, the pitcher. He's been complaining about the strike zone all night. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. That one swung and hit right, and that one finds the gap. A 1-out single for Kelleher, his 2nd hit of the ball game. As that will now bring up the shortstop, number 2, Dom Presto. That'll bring up Blaze Fadio. So Blaze Fadio will pinch hit for the Pioneers. For him, coming into this one, first pitch taken for a strike, counts at 0-1. Blaze Fadio batting 161 on the summer thus far for the Pioneers. 0-1 the count. Kelleher, the catcher, on first. He will be held by Jack Paulowitz. The 0-1 fouled off into the backstop. 2 quick strikes from Brantley Griggs. He'll need 1 more. Double play ball is in effect. Pilots sitting deep for the double play. McReynolds playing on the fringe, as well as Michael Flaherty. Brantley Griggs comes set. Kelleher with a little bit of a lead. The 0-2. That one, a good pitch. That one looked to be a sinker or a split finger fastball, one or the other. It had the same downward motion. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brantley Griggs with a chance to keep this thing tied. The 1-2. That one bounced in the dirt. That one's going to be a good stop by Nick Payne. And if you're Jake Kelleher, you have to be at second base on that. Inexcusable, as Nick Payne did the best he could to stop the ball, but that was an easy advance to second on a wild pitch. But the count's now 2-2. So a base running mishap for the Pioneers. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the 2-2. That one's going to hit on a line right at Wagner, and he can't field it. Right underneath his glove. Back-to-back singles for the Pioneers. As that one goes underneath Wagner's glove. It was hit on a line. So, head coach Daniel Steve going to come out and chat with his guy. We'll see if they bring on Michael Walsh. Michael Walsh is warming up down there. And he's calling for Michael Walsh. Brantley Griggs' night will be over. So, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back as Michael Walsh coming on in relief. So we are back. Michael Walsh coming on in relief of Brantley Griggs. Final stat line for Griggs, 1 inning of work, 3 hits, 2 runs, and a strikeout. It's Nick Bisaccia at the plate to face the Pilots ace, Michael Walsh. First pitch swinging, that one fouled off into the net, counts at 0-1. Bisaccia committed to Seton Hall University in the Big East. Wearing number 22 for the Pioneers in a back-and-forth game. And this one definitely has to be a PGCBL Game of the Year candidate by any means. Walsh comes set, the lefty from the University of Maryland, the 0-1. Taken for a strike at the knees. The count's at 0-2. Michael Walsh, the Pilots ace, coming into this one with a 2.00 ERA. In 9 innings of work. Walsh has been the go-to guy out of the pen. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2. That one misses low and good stop from Payne. The count's at 1-2 now. Looked like the slider from Walsh. 1 ball, 2 strikes in and out. Top of the 8th inning. 9-9 your score. In a game that has been back and forth. Michael Walsh looking to keep this thing tied and give the Pilots a chance to finish it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come and set. The 1-2 pitch to Bisaccia. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Michael Walsh gets a strikeout right out of the pen for the second out. That will now bring up Spencer Aubin, the 10-spot hitter. He's 0 for 2 on the night with a pair of strikeouts and a walk. Spencer Aubin will step up to the dish. And do not forget, the Pilots are at the top of their order when it will be all said and done in the bottom of the 8th. Spencer Aubin steps in, a pair of strikeouts and a walk. 0 for 2 on the night. A look back from Walsh, the first pitch. Fastball misses outside. Good stop from Payne, as that one for sure would have sent runners to second and third on the wild pitch, but a good stop from Payne to reach across his body and get that one. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, 9-9 your score. Michael Walsh comes set. A look back. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. The count's now at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Michael Walsh, the Pilots' go-to guy out of the pen. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. That one slider drops in for a strike. Beautiful break on that pitch from Michael Walsh. Michael Walsh has that thing humming coming out of the pen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A lot of movement on that pitch from Walsh. The Maryland Terrapin comes set. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Michael Walsh. Back-to-back strikeouts coming out of the bullpen. The Pilots have a chance to take the lead coming in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Frankie Vanzalata leading it off. Michael Walsh, 2 straight strikeouts out of the bullpen. Fire me up. 9-9 your score. Pilots looking to win the game of the year here in the PGCBL. We'll be right back on NewarkPilots.tv and Finger Lakes One Radio. So we are back on Finger Lakes One Radio, and I don't know if I'm going to make it through the entire broadcast as I'm sweating bullets. Been fired up here since about the 4th inning. It's been back and forth, back and forth. Pilots have scored 2 runs in the 5th, 3 runs in both the 6th and 7th. They have a chance to take the lead here. 9-9 your score, bottom of the 8th. Meeks out for another inning of work after he was shelled last inning, giving up 3 runs. That one misses outside. Vanzalata squared to bunt. The count's at 1-0. Frankie Vanzalata, the Pilots are at the top of the order, the leadoff man from SUNY Brockport. He is 2 for 4 on the night with a pair of singles and 2 RBI. Awaiting on deck is Michael Flaherty. That one taken for a strike, counts at 1-1. Fastball on the inner half of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Meeks out for another inning of work. Came into this game with a .93 ERA. That thing will be inflated after this one, the 1-1. That one looked like it missed low, but it's called a strike. Counts at 1-2. Looked like a changeup there from Meeks. Control is back for Meeks this half inning. There is someone up and warming in the Pioneers bullpen. Brendan Farrar, he's warming. The 1-2. Swung on and hit. That one just hit foul down the first base line. Vanzalata was looking to send that one for extra bases down the first base line, but that'll push the count at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and no outs. Almost every play here at Colburn Park, you're gasping for air, you're holding your breath. It has been that kind of game. The 1-2, that one misses inside, as that one almost hit Vanzalata. Counts at 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man, the SUNY Brockport Golden Eagle, Frankie Vanzalata. He'll step in. He's got a pair of singles and 2 RBI to his credit here tonight. Vanzalata will step back in, looking to be the leadoff man on base. The 2-2. Swung on, and that one hit out into deep center field. That one's going to be an out. A fly out to center for Vanzalata, and there's one away. As that one now bring up Michael Flaherty. So Big Michael, what they'll call him, he'll step up to the plate for the Pilots. 9-9 your score after the fly out for Vanzalata. Vanzalata got a hold of that ball, but just underneath it, as that one was a can of corn to center field. So, Vanzalata retired, an F8 for him. That'll bring up Michael Flaherty. He's 0 for 3 on the night. Did reach on the E6 in his last at-bat. That one could have been scored a hit. Just could have been fielded, so it was ruled an error. That one misses outside. Counts at 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out. Back and forth game here at Colburn Park. Pilots looking for their first win of the summer against the Elmira Pioneers. The 1-0. That one misses high. The count's at 2-0. And this is the part of the order that the Pioneers should be feared of the most. Tatsunori Ngeshi awaits on deck. Behind him, Mitchell Kelly. That one, fastball, clips the outer corner of the plate, counts it 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike and an out. Bottom of the 8th inning, 9-9 your score. Meeks comes set, the 2-1. Swung on and fouled into the glove. The count's at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Michael Flaherty from London, England. The 2-2. Curveball got by him for the second out of the inning. And there are 2 away. That'll bring up Tatsunori Ngeshi. So Tatsunori Ngeshi will step up to the dish now for the Pilots. Tatsu is showing his power here tonight. So Tatsunori Ngeshi steps in. 1 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice. He's reached base in 3 of 4 plate appearances. That one misses low. The count is at 1-0. Singled in the first. Flew out to left in the third. Walked and scored in the 6th and reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 7th. Tatsu steps in. 1-0 the count. Meeks on the mound. 1 ball, the 1-0. Swung on that one, pop, foul. The count's not even up at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. 9-9 your score. Newark Pilots looking for their first win against the Elmira Pioneers this summer. Back and forth. These 2 teams have battled. The 1-1. That one misses high and away. Looked like a changeup. Outside. Counts at 2-1. Who will deliver that final knockout blow? 2 balls, 1 strike. The 2-1. That one misses high and away. The count's at 3-1 now. 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. The dangerous hitting Mitchell Kelly awaiting on deck. Behind him, Jack Arcamone. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Meeks comes set. The 3-1 pitch. That one outside ball for a 2-out walk for Tatsunori Ngeshi. And that will now bring up Mitchell Kelly. So the SUNY Cortland Red Dragon will come up to the dish. And Tatsunori Ngeshi on first. And it looks like they're going to pinch run for Tatsu. It'll be Frankie DiMartino coming on to pitch run for the Pilots. Frankie DiMartino, the speedster for the Pilots on first base. A well-hit ball here will score DiMartino with that speed. A well-placed ball will score DiMartino. Curveball misses high, counts at 1-0. As Frankie DiMartino sits on first. He's going to run. That one's fouled off. Hit and run was on for the Pilots. Head coach Daniel Steve rolling the dice with 2 away, looking for a 2-out hit and run to give the Pilots the lead here. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. And now with a runner on base and the speedster and DiMartino, we'll see if Meeks is... That one misses high. The count's at 2-1. And with the runner on base, it seems like it's certainly rattled Meeks. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Meeks comes set. DiMartino on first. That one almost hits Mitchell Kelly. The count's at 3-1 now. 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. If I had money on it, I'd say the Pilots are sending DiMartino here. The 3-1, they don't send him. A big swing and a big miss, but they will send DiMartino on this pitch. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. DiMartino's going to be moving at first, regardless of the outcome. The hit and run is on. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Meeks strikes out Mitchell Kelly. And we'll go to the top of the 9th, tied at 9. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. We are back here. Michael Walsh out for another inning of work. Time called from the batter. It's a leadoff batter. We're at the top of the order. Wes Gingrich, center fielder, 1 for 4 on the night with a triple. Michael Walsh, the Pilots' ace on the mound. No one up in warming yet for the Pilots in the pen. Top of the ninth. That one, fastball, blown right by him. Counts at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and no outs. To the top of the order, the leadoff man, Wes Gingrich. The 0-1. That slider missed low in the dirt, counts at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and no outs. Michael Walsh coming set, the lefty from the University of Maryland. The 1-1. Swung on that one, hit down the third base line. That one will be foul. So the count's at 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Wes Gingrich will step in. Michael Walsh looking for his 3rd straight strikeout. He's faced 2 batters. 3rd batter he's faced. As once again, Gingrich will call time. Walsh comes set. The 1-2. That one swung at, roped out into center field. Underneath it, coming in. As that one's going to be dropped as Vanzalata and Michael Flaherty collide. That's going to be, no. That's going to be an E6. So that's going to be an E6 on Michael Flaherty. He ran into Frankie Vanzalata, who had the play made out there in center. So the Pilots pick up their 7th error of the ball game. Miscommunication there between Michael Flaherty and Frankie Vanzalata in center field. As there is going to be a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle for the Pioneers. So a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle. Actually, no pinch hitter. That's John Schroeder awaiting on deck. So third base coach chatting with the home plate umpire. Not sure what they're chatting about down there, but he'll trot back towards first. So that's an E6 for Wes Gingrich. In a play Frankie Vanzalotta easily could have made, Michael Flaherty ran into him, and he dropped the ball. So that'll bring up Joe Muzio, and Muzio has been the best batter in this Pioneers lineup here tonight. But it'll be a lefty-on-lefty matchup this time. He hasn't faced a left-handed pitcher here tonight. Hits in 3 of his last plate appearances. First pitch. Swung and fouled off. The count is at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and no outs. As Joe Muzio will step up to the dish. 0-1 the count. Michael Walsh has been lights out thus far. Muzio from Rockport, Massachusetts. Plays his college ball at Eckerd College. Pickoff attempt will keep the runner close. Gingrich can fly over there at first. The leadoff guy got on. Walsh comes set. He'll step off quickly. No balls, 1 strike, and no outs. Michael Walsh, Pilots ace on the mound. The 0-1, that one swung on hit. That one's going to find a gap out in there. Joe Muzio has his 4th straight hit. It's going to be a no-out single from Joe Muzio. And the Pios have runners on the corners now. As that will now bring up John Schroeder for the Pioneers. Schroeder will step up. 1 for 2 on the night thus far. Play will be at the plate. You see Nick Payne, the catcher, calling the play at home. Wes Gingrich, arguably the fastest player on the Pioneers at third base. Michael Walsh coming set. That one misses outside. Counts at 1-0 now. And what could have been that E6 by Michael Flaherty running into Frankie Vanzalotta put the fastest guy on the Pioneers on the base. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. Runner goes as he fakes the throw. No play will be thrown down. So the count's at 1-1. The play will be at home for the Pilots. Schroeder at the dish for the Pioneers. 1-0 the count. No outs. Runners on second and third. Can Michael Walsh, the Pilots ace, get out of this jam? 1 ball, 1 strike. Walsh comes set. The 1-1 pitch. That one misses outside. The count's at 2-1 now. Two balls, 1 strike, and no outs. Schroeder steps back in. The 2-1 pitch from Walsh. Swung into that one, hit on a line, foul down the first base line. Counts even up at 2. Michael Walsh could use a strikeout here in the worst way. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Michael Walsh coming set. The 2-2 delivery. That one swung and hit foul down the line. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Arguably the most pivotal point in this matchup. John Schroeder will step back in. Waiting on deck is Aiden Blake. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. That one misses just inside. Counts now pushed full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There is an open base over at first. Three balls, 2 strikes. No outs. Walsh comes set. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on that one, hit out into right field. Frankie DiMartino can't get that one's going to get to the wall. 1 run will score all the way to the wall, and they're going to score 2 runs. It's going to be a triple for John Schroeder, 2 RBIs, and the Pioneers take an 11-9 lead. So a 2 RBI triple for John Schroeder, and the Pioneers take an 11-9 lead. Off the bat of John Schroeder. As now it looks like Pete Jocelyn is warming up in the pen for the Pilots. As Aiden Blake steps up to the dish now. 11-9 your score. Back and forth, back and forth. The pitch swung on and missed. Big swing there from Blake. Count is at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, and no outs. That one's called for a strike. Counts at 0-2 now. Pilots could use a strikeout in the worst way here. Infield in. The 0-2. That one swung and popped foul. Out of play. So we'll do the 0-2 again. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Aiden Blake at the dish. 0 for 4 on the night. That one swung and fouled off. The count is at 0-2 now. 11-9 your score now. Pioneers took a 2-run lead off the 2 RBI triple from John Schroeder. Michael Walsh comes set. The 0-2. Swung on and missed for the first out of the inning. As that one now bring up Ray Hernandez, the third baseman. He's 0 for 4 on the night thus far. Hernandez is always dangerous. He always has that home run potential if he can just catch a pitch. As the third baseman, number 47, Ray Hernandez. That one misses. The ball counts at 1-0. Schroeder almost ran home. That one got away a little bit from Payne. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out. Schroeder on third base for the Pioneers. Walsh comes set. The 1-0 delivery. Swung on that one, popped foul. Counts now at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. In a game that has been so back and forth, back and forth. Just basing off how this game is played thus far, this game is far from over. 1-1 the count, the 1-1 delivery from Walsh. Swung and that one hit a mile in the air down the third base line. And that one's not going to be caught, but probably for the best that that wasn't caught. That's a different thing right there. Like I said, if Hernandez can hit this down the line, that's a double at least. Because there's no one over there. At least 4 of them. 1-2 the count now to Hernandez. Walsh looking for the second strikeout in order. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Another strikeout for Michael Walsh. His 4th strikeout. As that will now bring up the extra hitter, number 44, Chris Bear. So Chris Bear will step up to the dish. 1 for 4 on the night. His only hit of the night came back in the first inning. A pair of groundouts and a line out for him thus far. With the hit. 2 outs. First pitch of the at-bat. Misses outside to the fastball. Counts at 1-0. And Pete Jocelyn is up in the Pilots' pen. just in case they need them. 11-9 your score. Back and forth, these teams have been. That one swung on and missed. Good off-speed pitch from Walsh. The count is at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. And Jack Archimone will be leading things off for the Pilots in the bottom half of the ninth. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. Another swing and a miss. The count is at 1-2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Walsh looking for his 5th strikeout. The 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Another strikeout for Walsh, his 5th strikeout. He strikes out the side in quotations, but he gives up 2 runs on an error from Michael Flaherty. 11-9, Pioneers lead. Heading to the bottom of the ninth, Pilots up to bat. We'll be right back on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel. So we're back on Finger Lakes One Radio, the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. After the top of the ninth, Pioneers put up 2 runs. Pilots will look to rally yet again. But who better at the dish than the Pilots leader in batting average, Jack Archimone. 1 for 2 on the night. First pitch from Ferrari. That one looked a little low. Archimone will ask him about it. And won't change the result. The pitch counts at 0-1. As for the Pioneers, it's number 11, Brendan Ferrari from UMass Boston. As that's another check swing, and the counts at 0-2 quickly to Archimone. No balls, 2 strikes. Briggs Loveland awaits on deck. Archimone steps back in. The 0-2, that one misses outside. The count's now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and no outs to Jack Archimone, the University of Richmond commit, and arguably one of the best bats in this Pilots lineup. The 1-2, swung, and that one fouled off. Archimone staying alive. And the Pilots looking for some late game fireworks here in what has arguably been one of the best games of the year here in the PGCBL. Back and forth, these 2 juggernauts have fought. The 1-2. Swung on and missed for the first out of the inning. Archimon goes down on strikes, and that'll bring up Briggs Loveland. So Briggs Loveland stepping up to the dish now for the Pilots with one away in the bottom of the ninth. Pilots down to their final 2 outs. They trail by 2 runs. It's Briggs Loveland at the dish. Loveland batting 178 coming into this game for the Pilots. And another player has been tossed for the Elmira Pioneers. That's the second player in their first, and they also had a coach. That coach was also ejected early in the morning. So 3 total members of the Elmira Pioneers tossed here, and guess I can't expect much more from the Elmira Pioneers. Stay classy, Elmira. 3 players tossed. As Briggs Loveland steps back in. The first pitch, taken for a strike, counts at 0-1. No balls, 1 strike in and out. 11-9 your score. Pilots down to their final 2 outs. Harris McReynolds awaits on deck. That one misses high and away. Counts at 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Briggs Loveland at the dish. The lefty from Emerson College. The 1-1. A big swing and a big miss from Briggs Loveland. The counts at 1-2 now. 1 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. 11-9 the score. That one just misses outside. The count's now pushed full. Excuse me, that's 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and an out to Briggs Loveland. We're here in the bottom of the 9th inning. That one swung on and missed. The second strikeout of the inning. Pilots will be down to their final out now. As that will now bring up Harris McReynolds. The Pilots' final chance here tonight. 11-9 your score. Harris McReynolds will step up to the dish. Again, you're listening on Finger Lakes One Radio, the Newark Pilots YouTube channel, NewarkPilots.tv. Harris McReynolds at the plate. First pitch swinging. That one's at 0-1 now. McReynolds 2 for 3 on the night. He's reached base in his last 3 appearances. Single in the 5th, single in the 6th, and a walk in the 7th. McReynolds steps back in. The 0-1 pitch from Ferrari. Swung on and missed yet again. Quickly behind the count, 0-2. Ferrari looking to strike out the side here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Pilots down to their final strike. McReynolds, the 0-2, swung on and missed. Ferrari comes in onto the pen and strikes out the side. The Pilots lose this one, 9-11, as the Elmira Pioneers win this one and improve to 16-10. The Pilots fall to 6-17. Another loss by 3 runs or less, their 14th of the summer. Certainly it's been one of those summers for the Pilots. So, unfortunate break for the Newark Pilots. They lose this one, 9-11. Michael Walsh, the losing pitcher for the Pioneers. Ferrari will be the winning pitcher for the Pioneers. Brendan Ferrari comes in out of the pen. So the Elmira Pioneers win this one, 11-9 in heartbreaking fashion. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday as the Pilots will be back at home here. So, final score, 11-9. In heartbreaking fashion, the Newark Pilots lose this one, 11-9. Their 4th loss of the summer to the Elmira Pioneers. We'll see you next time on Finger Lakes One Radio and the Newark Pilots YouTube channel.